Hello my gorgeous loves out there and welcome. In today's video I will be creating multiple looks with some new indie products. So I picked up the Chamonix Apres-Ski palette from Nomad Cosmetics. I also will be using the Klarity Reign palette from Klarity Cosmetics, which is a new brand to me, as well as trying the MBA Cosmetics Cursed Moon palette, which is also a new brand to me. And then I also picked up the Light Scatters collection from Clionadh. This is a collab with Bad to the Brow. I have like the brushes and the shine on adhesive, so I'll be creating I think 3 looks all together in this video and then giving you guys my thoughts at the end. But before we get into everything, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bree. I'm a crazy lover of all things beauty. I love to post a lot of fun colorful makeup content, and I like to do a lot in indie makeup. So if that is what you're into, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. But with that being said, let's get into this video. This video is going to be the setup that I usually do, where I feature like multiple palettes and products and do multiple looks in the video. I have already featured all these products on my channel in a comparison swatch video that just recently went up on my channel. So if you're wanting to see more information on any of these products, see them actually being swatched and compared to other things, then definitely check that one out, because in today's video I'll just be focusing on trying the products and creating looks. Usually this is like an easier setup for me than doing individual reviews, and you guys have been seeming to like this kind of setup. So I will be showing you like the product up close, the swatches, and then get into the look. And I will also leave timestamps so you can skip around to whatever product you're most interested in seeing and make it easier for you if you just came here for a specific palette or look, or maybe you came here for the whole video, which would make me so happy. So I'll be getting into all of these. I will probably use this Light Scatters palette with some of the other palettes as like, you know, an add-on shadow, because this is an all shimmer palette, just so you know. So it'll be 3 looks I think all together in this video. So that was basically all the info. I think we should now dive into these looks. Into this MBA Cosmetics Cursed Moon palette. This is a very new brand to me. I have never tried their products, and I think they recently released this at the beginning of January. So I'm gonna see what they're all about. I think I'm gonna start off with the I guess Torture shade first and see how that does through the crease. It is a pretty deep color, so I'm gonna try to not go too crazy with this. I don't know how I got shimmer on my eyes. I must have touched something in the palette, but I'm gonna use that through the crease and kind of wing it out here too. I mean, it's going on nicely, and I did feel like the mattes felt a little bit drier, but I mean, it's showing up on the eyes really nicely, so that's a good thing. So let's go into Ritual and see how that one does. I'm kind of starting from a different point. Normally I would use the darkest shade, like the black first, but I'm just trying to test all the different formulas in here. But this one also too has great pigmentation, and this is the one that felt a little bit drier in the pan. By the way, I'm using this shade Ritual, and I'm just gonna like keep that in the lower part of the crease and like wing it out. I'm not gonna do any kind of groundbreaking look. I'm just really trying to make sure I test all the different shades. Now I'm going to go and take the Ill Fated shade, this black one. This one has little shimmers in it, and I'm gonna put that just on the outer corner. I just wanted to see if like darker mattes in this palette will like layer over other mattes, because sometimes that's not the case. So that's why I didn't start off with the darker shade, but look at that depth it's giving. We definitely should lighten up the edges a little bit, so I am going to go into Jinx right there and kind of just brush that ever so slightly on the edge of the mattes, just to get everything a little bit more diffused. That one swatched really nicely, this pastel, so I will see. Maybe I'll try to use that as an inner corner highlight. I'm undecided. Now I'm going to just basically do the same things on the lower lash line, going into like torture and everything, just to keep things consistent here, and just do a nice little monochromatic kind of look today, I guess. So now we're gonna get into the metallics. I think I'm gonna try to use a good chunk. So we'll start off with Heroin. This one has like a purple to blue shift. I'm gonna use that on the outer corner here, like over the darkest matte on the outer corner here. Ooh, this is one of those very like smooth kind of duochrome, multichrome shades that just glides on. That has like a darker base. I just wanted to keep it on the outer corner. And then I'm going to take the shade, maybe Afflict It, or maybe I should use Be Screwed and I'll use Afflict It in between. So I'm gonna go into this goldeny shade to kind of switch it up, like right up here. Oh wow, that's a really foiled, like antique gold. I like that they added a little bit of different shades, just not only like different blue ones, just to like kind of switch up your look if you don't want to only be super blue. I'm just keeping that more in the center. And like I said, I'm gonna take Afflict It right here, and this one is on the more flaky side, and I'm gonna put that in between those two shades, kind of help it transition between each other. So I think I'm gonna take Eerie in the very inner portion here, and this one too is very flaky, but it has such a strong shift to it. Like look at that shift, it's intense. Ooh. Now this one is flaking a little bit on the cheeks. And then we'll use a little bit of Eternal, I think, on the lower lash line, just so I can test that one out. It's one of the lighter shades. It could also work as an inner corner highlight, but I'm just gonna pop it on the bottom here. It's gonna give me a little pop down there. I want to try to use Jinx as a inner corner highlight, since I do feel like it will be pigmented and bright enough to pop the inner corner. We'll see. If not, I can always go over it with something else. But I'm just gonna keep it right there in that very inner portion. I'm gonna go do my other eye off camera, and then I'll come back and show you guys the completed look, figure out something for my lips and all that. But I'm loving this. This looks really good. So I will do that, and I will be right back to show you guys the completed look. All right, loves, I am back, and here's the completed look. I do have little shimmer sparkles on my face, but it's okay. We're gonna just deal with it. I kind of want to put a little bit of Eerie on the cheeks, like as a highlighter. Would that be weird? I mean, it's gonna be like super sparkly, but it definitely can be one of those like, you know, intense shifty highlighters. Oh wow, because I have kind of a subtle highlighter on from Pat McGrath, but I just wanted to see how that would work. It smooths out. It's just a little flaky, and it is on the sparkly end, so if you don't like a sparkly highlighter, but look how pretty that looks on the cheeks. I just wanted to add that. Wow, that is so gorgeous. Okay, that makes a beautiful shifty highlighter. But here is the completed look, and I love how it turned out. Look at these metallics, and the mattes blended out like a dream. Such a beautiful monochromatic palette, but it has some interest. Slightly different undertones of blues, the grayish little pastel here. You got some like warm, like goldy tones. I love that addition, and everything performed nicely. The mattes were blendable, buildable, easy to work with. I didn't have to try a lot, and they were pigmented, and the shimmers are so foiled and beautiful. Just a little bit of shimmer fallout, but I didn't have any fallout from the mattes, and I'm just such a fan. This is so gorgeous. So what I did off camera is I went in with the NYX Epic Ink Liner, created a wing. I used the Blend Bunny and the Telescopic L'Oreal mascara together. And then in the waterline, I went in with the LA Girl Shockwave Liner and Fresh, just to go with like the tealy kind of tones that's on the eyes. So this is more like tealish than it is like a true blue color. And then I went in with the Beyond Jelly Sheer Lipstick from Nabla and Luz. It is more of like a cool mauve. It's a little bit on the sheer side, but it's like such a juicy little lippy. And I've been loving these from Nabla. And that is it to complete this look. Gosh, I'm so happy. I want to try more from the brand because I'm really loving how everything turned out with this look. So just one more little preview. So that was everything for the MBA Cosmetics palette. We can now get into the next look. Get into the Klarity Reign palette, and I'm going to be using it with the Light Scatters collection. So this is all shimmers, and this has all the mattes in it. I did prime my eyes already with the Glam Light Icing Eyeshadow Base and Buttercream, and we're going to start off with the Klarity Reign palette. And I want to, I think, start off with Studio Sesh, this one right here. There is like shimmer everywhere in this palette. And I'm gonna use that on the outer corner and, like, you know, leave some space for some other colors. This seems to be a nice darker purple. And I'm gonna see what this formula is about. It seems very similar to the touch, like the ones from Give Me Glow. Ooh, I'm getting a little bit of fallout, but look at how pigmented that is. So I'm just keeping that right out here. So this brush is also working really well. It's nice and flexible and picks up a good amount of product, and it seems to be blending everything nicely, and it's just a nice smaller shape, great for hooded eyes. Now we can get into green. This one right here, this Sage shade, it's Let the Games Begin. These shadows definitely swatch darker than they look in the pan. Which also reminds me of Give Me Glow, because their shadows and color stories tend to have like deeper mattes and more midtones than lighter ones. So definitely like colors that will work on, you know, deeper skin tones, which I love that. Now we're going to get into a blue, and I'm going to use this little flat shader brush from the Light Scatter collection and go into Denim Tears. I'm not sure if that will be light enough, so I'm just kind of curious and if it will work. Yeah, it's a little darker than I expected, so I'm not going to bring it in like all the way into my inner corner area like I would if this was a pastel. And I'm just going to concentrate that right there. For the bottom, I'm going to use different colors and use, like, I guess the warmer colors in here. So I'll start off with Super Fandom, which is a beautiful deep burgundy, and I'm going to use the same little flat shader brush, and I'm going to keep that on the outer corner. I just really want to test out as many shades as possible. It's also super pigmented and has a really beautiful amount of depth to it. And I'm also really liking this little shader brush. So we should get into maybe Triple Fret, this one right here. I'm going to use the same brush. I'm just kind of cleaning it off. And I'm going to use that on the bottom as well. Like right in the center here. So it's going to give some, you know, yellowy, like mustardy goodness. Also, that shade is super pigmented. And then for the final shade for the bottom part, let's take Sweet Duet. This one looks like maybe it will be light enough as to like translate more like pastel on me. Yeah, it does. It probably would work as an inner corner highlight on me, which is nice because I do love using these kind of shades as brightening shades. But I'm just going to keep it right there on the bottom. And I think we're good. I think we're good for the lower lash line. I do want to like kind of blend out the edge and add some depth to this outer corner here. So let's take a little bit of Don't Wait Up, this shade right here. And I'm going to layer that over the purple because I want it to be you know, a little deeper because it is deeper on the bottom part. So I'm just layering it over the purple. Right there. I'm not going to take it too far in. I'm going to go into Cover Boy. This one right here to blend out the edge of the purple. And just use it over here. Not going to take it too far in. Ooh, that has good amount of pigmentation as well. I could probably get away with that shade in the inner corner too. So now I want to get into shimmers, but I'm going to put on the Shine On Shimmer Shadow Enhancer first from Clionadh. This is like a new product for them, and it has no color to it, and it doesn't necessarily feel tacky. So I'm intrigued to see what this will do for the shadow. Maybe it just makes more of like a wet base. So I'm going to go into Clarity in the Klarity Reign palette, and I'm going to put that on the outer corner. This is a very sparkly shade. Ooh, that's sticking right on. Kind of makes it like almost like a wet base for the shadow to kind of cling to. And this one has, I think, like a blue shift to it. So now let's get into the Light Scatters collection and go into these shimmers here. Kind of follow the scheme that I got on the lid. So we'll go into this shade right here. I don't know if they have actual names, but this bottom corner one that's green, use that in the center. I love that these are all like kind of lighter shimmers. Ooh, that's pretty. And you know, I really love Clionadh's like stained glass collection, and their like multi-chromes are always just so good. Some of the best. And then I'm gonna go into this shade right here for the inner portion. Let's see if that will work. And I'm just using my finger. I feel like this has like pink and lavender and maybe some blue to it. You just never know what you're gonna get with multi-chromes when you put them on your eyes. Now let's get into an inner corner, and I think I want to switch back to the Klarity Reign palette and go into this shade right here called It Girl. This one has more of a goldy shift, so I think that's gonna work. And I did put that adhesive in the inner corner. Oh yeah, that was a good option. And it's definitely giving brightness. And it looks so pretty there. And now I'm going to go back into the Clionadh one, the Light Scatter palette, and use this other flat brush. The last one I haven't used on camera yet, and just put that on the brow bone. This one has like a pinky shift to it, an iridescent pinky shifty shadow. This would probably make a beautiful highlighter. I'm going to go do liner, lashes, mascara, something for the lips, and I will be right back to show you guys the completed look. All right, loves, I am back, and here's the completed look. I just put my hair down, and I kept it pretty simple. I didn't add too much other things off camera. I just love how colorful this is. I love how vivid the matte blue is in the front, and like the cool tones, the warm tone on the bottom, just everything performed so nicely with this Klarity Reign palette. So I'm so happy for that. And I did decide to take one of the shadows in here, the Cover Boy shade, and use it as a blush. That's what's on my cheeks, because I totally forgot to put blush before I started putting this look on. It's a beautiful lavender shade, and I was able to like diffuse it and make it a beautiful blush shade. And then I was like, you know what, I need highlighter, so I went into the Light Scatters palette and ended up using the iridescent shade as my highlighter, as like pink to it. It is on the sparkly side. It's meant to be a shadow, but it makes a beautiful like a little shifty highlighter on the cheeks. And then for the rest of the look, I took the FanFest mascara from Benefit, mixed it with the L'Oreal Telescopic mascara. And then for my waterline, I have this limey green shade. I just love this pencil so much. It's the Sephora Ultimate Gel Eyeliner and Matte Lime Green, which I don't think they sell anymore. And I also went in with the NYX Epic Ink Liner to create a wing. And then I went in with this Mauve Lippy. I have the Nabla Matte Pleasure Lipstick in Naked Mauve. It's beautiful. I decided to go more cool tone since the look is more heavy on the cool tone side. And I think that's it. Yeah. I didn't use anything else. Very simple. This look didn't need that much because it looks so gorgeous on its own. And the Clionadh shadows are also so sparkly. So hopefully you like how this look turned out. I really love it. It's super colorful, but that was basically everything. And my cheeks are also looking really good. So I think we should now get into the next look. So we're gonna get into the Chamonix Apres-Ski palette. I did prime my eyes again with the Glam Light Icing Eyeshadow Base in Buttercream and did not set it. I'm gonna start off with Mont Blanc, this emerald green, and use one of the Clionadh brushes. I did clean it off with a color switch, and I'm going to put it here. On the outer corner, I will be using the Light Scatters palette again too with this look, just so I can use some of the other shades, but I'm gonna keep that on the outer corner. I want to go into this shade called Ski, this mid-tone green. I'm gonna clean off this brush a bit and then use that through the crease. I just tend to like to use the darkest matte first and then go lighter. Sometimes I do the other way around, but my usual preference is to use the darkest shade first because I usually want that to have the most pigmentation and be the most prominent in the look. And then I'll take some of Fondue and use that like in the front portion just to brighten things up. And these pastel shades from swatching are nice and pigmented. Now we're gonna go into Valet Blanche. I can't totally remember the correct pronunciation, but this is kind of a deep plum, but I'm gonna use that over the outer corner to add depth. I think layering it over the green will just end up looking like I'm putting a kind of matte black down, and I'll just mix it in with the deeper green. I just want more depth out there, and I'm happy that they, you know, provided some darker mattes. Now for the lower lash line, I'm going to go into this little shader brush right here from the Clionadh collection, and I'm going to go into Haute-Savoie. I looked up how to say these names and I've already forgot how to pronounce them, but I'm doing my best here. But I'm gonna run that on the lower lash line, and I'm going to go into Valet Blanche and use that on the edge here just to match up the depth that I have on the top outer corner. Just run that over the edge here. And then I'm going to go into Raclette, this light pinkish beige, and I'm gonna just run that on the edge of that matte down there just to soften things up and get things to look a little bit more blended, softening the edges. Good. Now we can get into some shimmers. I know I want to use the Shine On shimmer shadow again. I think it really just ends up making the shadows look like you use maybe like a wet brush. I want to use a Perceive, this emerald. I'm just gonna use my finger again, and I'm gonna put that on the outer corner. Yeah, it makes like my lid feel wet almost. Let's see if it will work with this very smooth shade. I'm now going to take a Apres and use that in like the center part right here. Oh yes, that adds a beautiful amount of contrast. And now I want to use some stuff on the lower lash line. Actually, let me put some of the adhesive on the lower part too. Sometimes I like to put shimmer down here, like the front half. And I want to take some of Vinju, this darker kind of magenta, And I'm just gonna like stick that here, but more in the center. I don't know, I just wanted some of that down there. It's such a pretty shade, and I love putting sparkle on the lower lash line. I think I want to put this shade right here in the Light Scatters palette. I think it's this one right here. I want to use that in the inner portion of the lower lash line. And put that like right here. I think this is a hologram. Oh my god, that looks so pretty. I want to pull some blue into the mix, so pull Last Call in the inner portion here. I don't know, I just was like, the blue was calling me, and look how pigmented that is. And put that on here and up into the crease. Look at that, it is so pigmented. I'm just feeling the intense blue moment in the front right now. And I'm gonna go into this shade in the middle and the Light Scatter palette and apply that here. It's kind of like a bluey lavender shade. And I feel like I just want to pop a little bit of Les Alpes over the inner portion a bit. I just feel like I need a little bit more sparkle right there. So just dab it on, and it kind of looks more blue on the lids. I don't know why I thought I was gonna lean pink, because I didn't remember what it looked like when I swatched it. There we go. Yes, that is what I needed for the very inner portion. So I thought I was done, but I figured we take Chamonix as a brow bone highlight. I might as well, right? And it's the green one. Oh yeah, that was a good move on my part. Oh, that looks so good on the brow bone. That'd probably make a nice little highlighter moment too. So I just wanted to add that. And now I think the look is complete. So I think I'm gonna go off camera, you know, do liner lashes, figure out something for the waterline, something for the lips, and I will be right back to show you guys the completed look. All right, my loves, I am back, and here is the completed look. I'll lean in so you guys can see what I did. I love how this turned out. I just added some gems and then, you know, liner and mascara. I didn't do too much crazy things off camera, but I'm just loving how these shimmers look, everything, the lower lash line. I'm just really feeling it. And I did go ahead and use some of the shadows to use as blush. So I went in with the Haute-Savoie Shade and put that on the cheeks. It's a really pretty like berry blush. And then I actually used Last Run over that blush, kind of like a blush lighter slash highlighter thing on the cheeks, and put some on there, like up here, and it looks really pretty, give a nice little pinky glow. So you can definitely use those shadows as cheek products. And then for the rest of the look, I took these gems. As you see, they're like shifty gems that go from like pink and green and purple, and they're from this pack I got from Adept Cosmetics when they were an active brand. And then for the rest of the look, I took the NYX Epic Ink Liner and did a little bit of a longer wing. I used the same two mascaras, the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara and the Fan Fest Mascara from Benefit. And for the waterline, I decided to go in with like this pastel aqua shade. So it's the one from LA Girl, the Shockwave Liner in Fresh, kind of matching with what's going on in this inner portion. And, you know, give some brightness to the eyes, and that's it. Oh no, and my lippy. I have the ABH Lip Velvet and Hush Rose, you know, rosy pink, nudie kind of lip moment. It's toned down, so, you know, you can focus more on the eyes. And that is everything I did off camera. I'm loving it. It's giving mermaid more than like snowy Alps, you know, at a ski lodge, but that's totally fine. I'm loving how this turned out. So that was basically everything for the look with these two palettes right here. So I think I'm now ready to like give you guys my final thoughts since I've gotten a chance to use all the products. So let's just jump into it. I'm gonna just go over everything that I've used in this video and kind of give you guys my first impression. Of course, I will come back and do like a future ranking on makeup products that I've tried and for eyeshadow palette, so I can give you guys my final thoughts after using the products multiple times. But I just do this to show you guys initially how the products perform, give you a look inspiration. So let's start off with the Cursed Moon palette from MBA Cosmetics. This is really pretty. It performed really nice, and I thought the mattes worked just fine, even though some felt a little bit more drier, a little bit more gritty in the pan. They were beautiful. And then these gorgeous shimmers, and I feel like this is a really well done kind of blue monochromatic palette. I think the tones are just a little different from the usual monochromatic palettes that you see. A little bit of gray, a little bit of teal, but then they threw in this antique gold, this kind of pinky shifty metallic in here. And I'm just loving the options. You can do completed looks. Everything performed nicely, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that I went and picked up the other monochromatic palettes that they have. They have like a purple one and a green one, which should be coming here soon. I think I got the purple one already, but the green one I'm waiting for. Now getting into the Klarity Reign palette. I'm so happy I'm finally trying this brand as well. I think what stands out the most in this palette are the mattes. They're pigmented, they're easy to blend, they lay over one another. All of the shades that I used in here were nicely pigmented and blendable. I've used, I think, 9 shades in total. So of course it's a big palette. I need to go and use the other shades to see if that's consistent amongst all the mattes. But the ones that I did use all performed really nicely. I do feel like the shimmers are not like my typical go-to. They're not those super shifty dual chromatic multi-chrome kind of shimmers. They are very sparkly though, but I do feel like some of them are a little bit loose, a little bit on the drier side. I feel like they don't have enough binding in them. Like I feel like this one right here, this one will eventually break easily, because I just feel like the sparkle is just getting all over the palette, kind of exploded all over my face when I use like this sparkle right here. I just feel like it's not sticking together enough, but they do the job and they're very pretty. I just think what I really prefer the most in here are the mattes. Now the only thing I do want to add is that I wish there wasn't these 3 beiges. Like I don't think they were necessary to have all 3. I wish we got some other colors instead. I think 1 would have been fine. So I feel like that is kind of repetitive. These are all gonna pretty much look the same on the eyes. They have slightly different undertones, so that's the only thing I wish I could change in terms of the matte selection. But everything else was really nice. You know, you got color, you got nudie shades. This is a very versatile palette, and I definitely want to try more from the brand because I really did like the formula. And then we'll get into the Light Scatters collection. Of course, this is beautiful. These are those lighter, like multi-chrome shifty shades. Some have holographic shimmers in them, and I like the different shifts, and I feel like they're all pretty different enough to have all of these shades in the palette. So I think that to the brow did a really good job at the selection, and I think these are the kind of multi-chromes that people like or prefer because they're those lighter multi-chromes that don't have like that intense black base. I think that's what most people prefer. And as for like the brushes, I think they're actually really nice. They're soft, they're easy to use, and I love that they're on the smaller side. I feel like they're gonna be great for hooded eyes. I especially like the blendy one the most. I think this one is one that I'm going to use a lot, but they're really nice. They're not anything extra special. They're not groundbreaking brushes, but they do the job, and I think the size are perfect on them. As for the adhesive, I feel like it kind of just leaves like a wet base for metallics to kind of glide onto. It doesn't leave a sticky surface, but I'll have to see if this makes the shadows last longer or crease less. I do feel like it does help the shadows look foiled, and it's more like I think the wet effect, because it's not a sticky formula. It's very interesting. It's clear, and it's something different from what I've tried for other kind of like adhesive shadows. But I will follow up and let you guys know if it enhances the longevity of the shimmers and makes them fade less. That's something I'll have to test over time. Now let's go into the Nomad Chamonix Apres-Ski palette. I think this is pretty. I really love this packaging. Like, it's so pretty. And I think the color story is really nice. I like the little monochromatic setup, but I think the options that they put in here perfectly matched like a wintry vibe, and they gave a good range of lighter to deeper shades, and these pastel mattes are super pigmented. I think what really stands out in this one is the mattes. Like, their matte formula has gotten so good. Now in terms of the shimmers, they're a little bit more subdued. I feel like a lot of the shimmers are more like shimmer toppers than standalone shimmers, because they all have like a very light transparent base to them. They're just not as pigmented as I would like them to be, besides the deeper ones, but these ones lean more satiny like. So I wish that the shimmers were more impactful. They do remind me of like the shimmers that are in the Chicago Speakeasy palette. That was my thoughts on all the products that I tried, the looks I was able to create. But you guys will now have to let me know, what are your thoughts in the comments below? Have you tried any of these products? What did you think of the looks? Is there like a brand or palette that you're loving right now? I would love to hear from all of y'all. And if you're new here and you enjoyed this video, you like a lot of fun and colorful makeup content, you like a lot on indie makeup and all that good stuff, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I would love to have you here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I will have other videos of mine linked. I'll have the video where I'm doing the comparison swatches linked, and I'll have like my playlist for like Nomad as well if you want to see more from the brand. I will also have my makeup link, like the foundation and everything, and the products I use in each look, in case you want to check them out for yourself. And I will have my contact and my social media platforms linked. I'm also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_beauty. So if you want to join my Instagram fam, I would really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, for being here, supporting my channel, being amazing. I just appreciate you guys all so much, and I hope all of you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and just sending you guys so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.